My last, but certainly not least person on my bottom three is Robert Woods, wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. Why the fuck is this man playing anymore? Like, truly, I don't know if he's ever had a good season because I've had him on my fantasy team. Like, sometimes there's just players that you end up with. You just have to take them and you're just
every year. Yeah.
Yes. And this is one of them. I always end up with the same with Allen Robinson, but I'm done. I'm done with both of these men. I'm over them. Same with a Mike Williams. Like, I always end up with guys like, and there's nothing you can do about it because you need it to fill the spot or you need it for backup, whatever. Robert Woods, I don't know when this man has ever had a good season, but ended up ranked 60th wide receiver this season. Average points 6.81.
The problem with this, okay, AJ Brown leaves, so the wide receiver 1 spot is wide open. And this is what you do with it?
Waste.
Like,
Waste.
When you have a running back like Derrick Henry and teams are selling out to stop Derrick Henry, someone should be eating. A wide receiver should be feasting off that. And they're not because scam Ryan Tannehill is their quarterback. Another man who scams teams.
Yes.
He does. He's good. He gets fat contracts, and then he shits himself. That's exactly what Ryan Tannehill does. He's been doing it for years. And Robert Woods is unfortunately on the receiving end. That's a good pun. Wide receiver. Get it, huh? Receiving end of this. And, yeah, he was terrible. His best game, 13 points. No. 14.9 points. 5 receptions for 39 yards and a tutty. He had two touchdowns this year.
Yes, and his worst game, he scored 0 points. He wasn't bad. No, he was on the field. He just scored 0 points against Kansas City.
And this isn't a team.
He had 2 targets, 0 receptions, 0 points.
You would think if your wide receiver 1 was this bad, your team would be like 3-13. No. They almost made the playoffs.
Yep. And it's because of Derrick Henry, which we already talked about in our Thanksgiving episode. But that man carries this team. Literally carries.
He does, but he's 2 years out from being irrelevant, and the Titans win 0 games because he doesn't share carries with anybody.
No, and again, it's like, what we were just talking about with the Steelers. Like, they're not preparing whatsoever. They're just going with it, going with the flow. Meanwhile, you have a quarterback who is not good. And then you have a wide receiver who literally had a 0-point game. Some of these games, 2.6 points, 1.6 points, 3.2 points, 0 points, 2.3 points. Like, you're bad.
Again, as the wide receiver 1, he's not wide receiver 5. He's their number 1 wide receiver.
No depth whatsoever. The depth chart, non-existent.
Robert Woods, no one.
Literally, the Tennessee Titans. And I actually like the Titans. I like Tennessee. I've been to a Titans game, like, in Nashville. Great atmosphere. But your team needs to get their shit together. And the first task at hand is getting Robert Woods off the team. Or putting him, like, on the bench. It's time to rebuild Tennessee. Yes.
I think from the ground up. Whatever. That's a different story. Not my problem, not my team. So whatever you want to do. My last shit list. This is gonna sound super weird, but it's Justin Herbert. He ranked the 11th best quarterback on ESPN, but I think everybody had higher expectations for Justin Herbert at this point. He was below 20 points in 13 of his games. That's ass. That's not good. 9 games with 0 or 1 passing touchdowns. Ass. And I know he had some dudes. I know Mike Williams. I know Keenan Allen were hurt at some points. But you still have Austin Eckler there. You're still a top 5 quarterback that was drafted. He's very talented. He can run. I don't know. I feel like he underperformed extremely this year, and he was on that auction team where I took a shit in the second half of the season. So I attribute it to him mostly because he was terrible. Like, he could not figure out how to throw to anybody else. And Austin Eckler can catch 10 passes a game. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I feel like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, it's not like they're the most standout wide receivers either. Like, you're not missing too much.
Yeah, and even when they were both there, I mean, it really didn't make the situation any better. They were an average team at best.
Yeah, I think, like you said, he's one of, like, I think we expected a lot from him this season. Because he has a couple under his belt now, and you think that, okay, you're gonna have a breakout season or whatever, and it was just like he should have, like, I think the expectation with a lot of the younger quarterbacks is like, okay, this is the time to get rolling, and he just is not performing in tune with the rest of them.
I think his over-under for passing touchdowns this year that Vegas put on him was like 35.5, and he had 25.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
It was about the same for Tom Brady, too, who played like shit.
Tom Brady, get the fuck off my TV screen.
That's actually my honorable mention. This didn't affect me at all. I did not have any Tampa Bay Bucks players. I had Leonard Fournette, which did piss me off because during the Cowboys game, go Cowboys, fuck Tom Brady, fuck the Bucks. They were like, yeah, they rested Leonard Fournette the entire second half for this playoff game. I'm like, oh, that makes sense, checking out his stupid little stats that they did that. And then he got 5 carries in the game, and I was like, suck it.
Leonard Fournette is one of those players, again, like, so uncertain, like, so all over.
A wild card.
He
Yeah.
always has been, like, since he entered the NFL. And he was another one that was so hyped up. And then, it's just, like, all over the place. I had him in one of my leagues, too. And I was just like, I can't figure you out, man.
But all of Tampa Bay was a shit show. I mean,
yeah,
Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, they have incredible weapons. And they won a Super Bowl a couple years ago with these weapons, and they could not figure it out this year. And then Tom Brady did some stupid-ass TikTok or whatever, like the fantasy championship week, because Mike Evans finally had a good game. He had like 40 points, but he had sucked the rest of the year. He's like, I bet Mike Evans won you some games, and somebody stitched it, and it was like, if someone had drafted Mike Evans, they were not in the fantasy championship.
No.
So, yeah, Tampa Bay offense.
Yeah.
Trash.
The only team in Tampa I don't root for is the Tampa Bay Bucks. I cannot. I just can't stand them. I think that... I think there are, like, true hardcore fans who have been there in the beginning. But, like, ever since they got Tom Brady, the fans are just so fucking annoying. And you can't tell me the only reason you're in the stadium and you have all these sold out games is because you have Tom Brady. Like, I'm looking forward to when he leaves, and I want to see if these fans are still going to show up as hard as they have since Tom Brady was your quarterback.
They don't, because I've sold in Tampa, and there's so fair-weathered fans down there, and it's not because they're bad fans, it's because everybody's from somewhere else. Tampa's their second team. So when that second team's bad, they're not there.
No.
And I feel bad when he goes to Las Vegas because the Bucks sales reps are fucked. Like, they're going 3-14 when he leaves because they're bad.
Yeah. And that's just what, like, frustrates me the most. And is just, like, they all, like, live on this high, and they're, like, so braggy and, like, just so fucking annoying. And I'm like, okay, you've been a Bucks fan for the past 4 years. Like, please, go away. Like, it's just... And they're, like, they acted as if this was, like, the worst year of their entire life because it was so up and down. And I'm like, you're not a true fan if you don't understand when the Bucks were actually really shitty season after season after season. And I'm just, it irks me so much.
Like, I'm sorry, did you miss 2005 to 2018?
Exactly.
Garbage.
And that's what really like bothers me the most is not even necessary because again there are like true Bucks fan born into it. Like I'm not talking about those fans. I'm talking about the rest of the stadium, which is probably like 50 to 75%, I would say, because I used to go to Bucks games when Tom Brady was not on the field, and those games were not close to being sold out.
Right. It was a culture shock being in Tampa because being from the Midwest, people are not fair weather fans. Like, people are in it, whether you win 0 games or you win every single game. Like, people are in it. So it was very weird going down there.
Yeah. And that's, like, I don't know. I've never was a Tom Brady fan either, so it just gave me another reason to hate the Bucks. And that's what I feel like you see it with even the Lightning and Rays. I think the Lightning is different because they've started to grow such a large fan base, and they do so much work in trying to get the younger audience, and they won three Stanley Cups? How many Stanley Cups have they won now? Two?
Well, 2 in a row, but they had 04 as well. So.
Well, yeah, but I mean in the last few years, so 2, and that helps build a fan base as well, whereas I just feel like that Super Bowl Bucks was like a fluke.
Yeah, when Tom Brady leaves, their fans are gone. That's my prediction. I don't think they've done enough over time to keep them once he's gone.
Yeah, no. Whereas I feel like now, like, the Lightning has built, like, a true fan base. Like, if they went down the shitter, I still think their games would be sold out.
I agree with you. I think there's enough young fans. I think the oldies would be gone, but I think there's enough young fans to keep them sold out.
Yeah. I mean, and like you said, I've been a fan of my team since I was a kid. I'm never not going to be a fan of them. That's why I get such, like, shit living in Tampa, too, and being here most of my life. Because people are like, how are you not a Lightning fan? And I'm like, they're my number 2 team, but the Rangers are my number 1. The Giants will always be my number 1 football team. I'm never rooting the Bucks. I don't care that they're in Tampa and they're in home states. Like, no. You have to ride or die.
I've been trying to get rid of the Cowboys for a while, but it's so toxic, and now I'm back on full blast, and like we're winning the Super Bowl. So,
yeah,
I'll be disappointed when this episode comes out next week. I guarantee it.